Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kay the Bookworm, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my Bad Bitch Readathon TBR, so stay tuned. So before I start, I just want to do a mini review on a book that I just recently finished. I did do a full out review on my Instagram, but I love this book so much that I decided to do it on here as well. And that book is The Evolution of Birdie Randolph by Brandy Corbett. So this is my first book ever by Brandy. I know that she has a lot more. I know she has Little Lion, Finding Yvonne, in her recent book, which is The Voting Booth, which is on my TBR that I definitely want to read back before the end of the year. But The Evolution of Birdie Randolph is about a 16-year-old girl named Birdie Randolph, and she is living in Chicago, and she is kind of like the perfect child of her family, and everything about her is basically perfect, and everything changes when her aunt Clarine comes and basically shakes up the entire family household. I loved everything about this book. I love the fact that we get to actually see an evolution of Birdie from the time she starts, where she's this good girl, doesn't really do much, doesn't want to get in trouble. Towards the end, she speaks her mind and doesn't care what people say or think about it. The main thing I love about this book is that it's really realistic. It definitely deals with family issues, far as secrets, definitely some addict diseases in here, far as drinking, and but at the same time it does deal with sex positive things in this book. Her sister is a lesbian, as well as her aunt. She's a lesbian as well. And I just love how the fact that even though her mom is kind of like the picture perfect mom, her mom is one of those moms that thinks that everything in her house is perfectly fine and that, you know, we have no mistakes. But then as you read, you get to see exactly how her mom is, how her aunt is, and why that relationship is kind of strange, as well as her dad's relationship with her aunt as well. But if you really want to hear the rest of my review, it is on my Instagram, which is kthebookworm_. But I just want to talk about this book, but definitely a good book. So on to my TBR. So like I said in my last video, I'm participating in the Bad Bitch Readathon that is hosted by Neeks Needs Stuff. I definitely love the concept of it. I feel as if everybody is a bad bitch. I know I am, but it took me a while to get to this point where I'm in today in my life. You want to hear more about that? Check out my podcast, which is Read Honesty with Kay Renee. It's like pug. But so the first prompt is a bad bitch, someone who is bad overall. And I have basically, I'm going to be honest with you, from the synopsis that I read and through my reading, all the books I'm going to be reading are bad bitches. But this one book in particular has 4 bad bitches. So I'm going to be reading about maybe 4, 5, 6, about 8 bitches. So the first book is Money Devils by Ashley and Jaquavis. I am pretty much done with this book, but I love it so much that definitely going to be including this in my Bad Bitch-a-thon. So this tells a story, picks up from the Long Live the Cartel. And if you want to read this book, you definitely have to read Long Live the Cartel before you read this book. But it tells the story of Ashton LaCrosse and her sisters. Her sisters are all from all of them are from Miami. You have Sutton, you have Anna, you have Luna, and you have Ashton, who's the baby girl. And they run a high, public relations company, but at the same time they're con artists. And we get to find out exactly how Ashton ends up in jail, and she doesn't have a good relationship with her 3 older sisters as well. But something happens in this book to where it kind of rocks the whole entire sisterhood of them, and they have to bond together to try to fix it before tragedy strikes again. I don't want to give too much because, like I said, if I keep talking about it, I'm going to spoil a book, and I don't want to do that. But definitely Money Devils is definitely a good book for bad bitches. My second book that I'm going to be reading is the second part of A Blaze So Black, which is called A Dream So Dark by Ellen McKinney. It is the sequel to the first book. I am super excited to see it. Read it, because the first book left me with a cliffhanger. I'm going to read the synopsis. It basically says, still reeling from her recent battle and grounded until she graduated high school, Alice must cross the veil to rescue her friends and stop the Black Knight once and for all. But the further she ventures into Wonderland, the more topsy-turvy everything becomes. It's not until she realizes at her wit's end that she realizes Wonderland is trying to save her. There's a new player on board, someone capable of using nightmarish creatures to not only influence the living, but raise the dead. Dreams have never been so dark in Wonderland, and if there's any hope, Alice must confront the worst in herself and the people she loves and face every nature of fear. So, I definitely like the first book. I think I rated the first book 4.5 out of 5, I believe. I think that's what I wrote. But I'm super excited to read this because the third book is coming very, very soon. And I'll definitely want to get this book out the way so I can read the third book. And I'm supposed to be buddy reading this with Bookish with Mariah. So stay tuned for that. And I believe after we read it together, we decided that we're probably going to do an Instagram live and discuss the nature of this book. So stay tuned for that. The third book I'm going to be doing is also another retelling. And this book I've been dying to read since it came out. And it is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. I'm so excited to read this book. It is the story of a girl named Sophia. And basically it says that Cinderella has been dead for over 200 years. But that fairy tale is over. Now teen girls are required to appear at an annual ball where the men of the kingdom select wives based on a girl's display of finery. If a suitable match is not found, the girls are not chosen and never heard from again. 16-year-old Sophia would much rather marry Aaron, her childhood best friend, than parade in front of suitors. At the ball, Sophia makes a desperate decision to flee and finds herself hiding in Cinderella's mausoleum. There she meets Constance, the last known descendant of Cinderella and her stepsisters. Together they vow to bring down the king once and for all. In the process, they learn there's more to Cinderella's story than they ever knew. So I love it because it does have a girl-on-girl relationship in this book, and as well as from what I've heard and from what the author says, she's definitely a bad bitch in this story, and I cannot wait to dive in and read it. And the last book that I just got, I won this on a giveaway with Editorial Edge by Christina G. So thank you so much once again for picking me as one of the winners. And this is My America by Kim Johnson. Now this has been on my TBR since it came out as well. And this tells the story of Kim, and she is trying to get her father out of jail because her father is on death row and I think only has like a couple of days until he gets executed for a crime that he did not commit, as well as trying to save her brother when something happens, when her brother is accused of killing a white girl. I've also heard nothing but great things about this book. I've heard that she is definitely a bad bitch throughout the entire book as well. And also, it is very relevant to what is going on in today's world. So, that's why I picked this book. So, those are the those are the 4 books that I do plan to read in this Bad Bitch Readathon. And all of them, all the lead characters that I picked are bad bitches. So, yeah. And excuse if you hear my little baby cousin. He's very loud. So, the second book is A Frosty Bitch. And that is someone that doesn't care for anything but comes around. And for this one, since I am reading Money Devils, I am going to pick Sudden Lacroix. I don't know why I say Lacroix. It's Lacrosse. She is third Haitian. Sorry. She is the older sister, and she is the one that is like, I'm about my business. I don't got time to be messing around with these little ass boys. But from what I read so far, she does have a very softer side to her because there's someone in this book that is basically her weakness, but at the same time is a threat to her family. So definitely Sudden for sure, as well as her other sister Honor. She definitely is like a bad bitch as well, somebody that is frosty who doesn't really care, but when the tragedy happens, she becomes to get a softer side as well. So definitely frosty bitch, Sudden, and Honor for sure. The third bitch is a silly bitch, somebody that does everything wrong. I'm going to think it's going to be Alice from what I read. So A Dream So Dark. From what I read so far in the first book, She does have some silly moments in this book too. It's like, Alice, what are you doing? So I'm definitely going to try to do this book as a silly bitch. I might be wrong, but I'm just going to see. But also, Ashton. Ashton has been a silly bitch since Long Live the Cartel. And she does not change in this book. The reason why she goes to jail is over a silly decision that she made. So, definitely a silly bitch too. As far, so yeah, I just have to say, she's a silly bitch in this book. Definitely a silly bitch in this book. From what I've read, I don't think Sophia is gonna be a silly bitch. I think she is one of those people that is just a bad bitch overall, as well as Kim, well as this book as well. This is My America, so yeah. And a thirsty bitch, sex positive bitch that own their sexuality. Once again, I'm gonna go back to Money Devils. As you guys don't know, this is an urban fiction book, so you know sex is basically in throughout this book. And the way that Ashley and Jaquavis describe the sisters, they are gorgeous as hell. Like, not only men, but women also like turn their heads every time they walk. They even have Honor is is a plus size girl. I believe this is one of the first time they ever really mentioned a plus size girl in their books, from what I can remember. And she's a bad bitch. She knows she's plus size, but at the same time, she knows that if I want your nigga, I could take your nigga. That's how she is. And definitely, the sex in this book is very, very, very amazing from what I read so far. Not done with the book, but definitely Money Devils for sure. And honestly, if I really wanted to read one book that has all the 4 prompts, I could read Money Devils, because all of them are bad bitches. You got the bad bitch, the sisters, frosty bitch, sudden Honor, the silly bitch, Ashton, and the thirsty bitch, all of them, because all of them are gorgeous. And I'm going to say maybe Cinderella is Dead can probably be a thirsty bitch as well. Like I said, I don't really know. All I know is a synopsis, but I'm going to probably try it and see, and we'll go from there. But guys, that is my Bad Bitch Readathon TBR. I'm so excited to start. Like I said before, I'm almost done with Money Devils, and after I get done with Money Devils, I'm probably going to start with A Dream So Dark. And then Cinderella is Dead, and then in my TBR with This Is My America. So stay tuned for my Instagram, because I know for sure once I get done with Money Devils, I'm going to do my full review on there. Stay tuned for my urban fiction series. I'm waiting on my book from C.N. Phillips, Nightmare on Shrap Street. That's coming very soon. And then once I get done reading that book, then she will be my first author that I mentioned in my urban fiction series. So stay tuned for that. And then once again, guys, if you're a real one, comment the orange heart below. Let me know that you're a real one and you watched all the way through. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love you guys so much. Once again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is KTheBookworm_. Continue to subscribe, comment, like, all that jazz on here. And until next time, have faith, have confidence, love you, always be you, and I'll talk to you guys later.